Welcome to the story of Tom Thumb. Have you ever imagined a boy no bigger than your thumb accomplishing incredible feats? The fairy tale Tom Thumb will take you on an extraordinary and thrilling journey with a tiny boy who is clever, brave, and utterly lovable. Join us as we follow his magical adventure from the horse's ear to a mouse hole, a cow's stomach, and even the belly of a wolf, and discover how he finds his way back home. Once upon a time, there was a poor farmer who used to sit by the fireplace at night, poking at the embers, while his wife spun thread. One evening, he said to his wife, "We are so lonely without children. Our house feels cold and silent, while our neighbors' homes are filled with joy and laughter." His wife sighed and replied, "If only we had just one child, even if he were no bigger than my thumb, I'd be happy. We would love him with all our hearts." Not long after, the woman became pregnant, and 7 months later, she gave birth to a son who was perfectly formed, but only as big as a thumb. The couple said, "Just as we wished. Surely he will be our little darling." Since he was no bigger than a thumb, they named him Tom Thumb. Though they fed him well, he never grew any larger, but he had bright, intelligent eyes and quickly became clever and skillful. One day, the farmer prepared to go into the forest to chop wood. He muttered to himself, "If only someone could drive the cart for me." Tom Thumb said, "Father, I can drive the cart. Trust me, the cart will be there on time." His father laughed and said, "How will that work?" "You're too tiny to hold the reins." "Don't worry, Father. Mother can harness the horse. I'll sit in the horse's ear and give commands. It will go just fine." "All right, let's try it and see," said the father. So the mother harnessed the horse and placed Tom Thumb in the horse's ear. Tom shouted, "Giddy up!" and the horse trotted off like a proper cart driver was guiding it. The cart rolled straight into the forest. At a turn in the road, 2 men approached and heard a voice shouting but saw no one. "That's strange," said one. "A voice, but no driver." "Let's follow it and see where it stops," said the other. The cart drove straight into the forest and stopped exactly at the spot where the wood had been stacked. Tom Thumb saw his father and called out, "Father, look! I brought the cart here. Please help me down." His father came over, holding the reins in one hand, and carefully lifted Tom from the horse's ear with the other. Tom happily sat down on a stalk of straw. Seeing Tom Thumb, the 2 strangers were speechless with amazement. One pulled his companion aside and whispered, "Hey, friend, if we took that tiny boy to the big city and showed him off, we could make a fortune. Let's buy him." So they approached the farmer and said, "Sell us the tiny boy. We'll take good care of him." The father replied, "I won't sell him. He's my beloved son. No amount of gold or silver could replace him." Hearing this, Tom tugged on his father's trousers, climbed onto his shoulder and whispered in his ear, "Father, go ahead and sell me. I'll find my way home again." Listening to his son, the father sold Tom to the 2 men for a large sum of money. They asked Tom, "Where do you want to sit?" Tom replied, "Just put me on the brim of your hat. I'll enjoy the view and won't fall." As he wished, one of them placed Tom on the brim of his hat. After saying goodbye to his father, they took him along. They walked a long time, and when evening came, Tom said, Please set me down for a moment. I have something important to do." The man with the hat said, "Just stay up there." "I won't say anything about that. Birds often do their business up there too." Tom replied, "No, really. I know how to behave properly. Please let me down quickly." The man took off his hat and placed Tom Thumb down in a field by the side of the road. As soon as he touched the ground, Tom ran quickly between clumps of dirt. Suddenly, he spotted a mouse hole and crawled right inside. Then he waved and mocked the two men. "Goodbye, gentlemen. You can go back the way you came." The two men poked sticks into the mouse hole trying to catch him, but it was useless. Tom kept crawling deeper into the earth. As it got darker, the men grew frustrated and had to leave empty-handed. Once they were gone, Tom crawled back out from the ground. He thought, "It's dangerous to be out here in the fields at night. I could fall and break something." Fortunately, he stumbled upon an empty snail shell. Tom said, "Thank heaven. I found a cozy bed for the night." He had just dozed off when he heard two men walking nearby. One said, "How can we break into the rich priest's house and steal his gold and silver?" Tom called out, "Let me help you with that." One of the thieves jumped in fright. "What was that?" I heard a voice. They stopped and listened. Tom said again, "Take me with you and I'll help you." "Where are you?" asked the thieves. "Just look down at the ground and listen for my voice." The thieves searched and finally found him. They picked him up and asked, "Hey, little guy, what can you do to help us?" Tom replied, "Just watch. I can slip between the window bars into the priest's room. Whatever you want, I'll pass it to you." "All right," they said. "We'll see what you can do." When the thieves arrived at the priest's house, Tom Thumb slipped right into the room and shouted as loudly as he could, "What do you want, sirs? Do you want to clear out this whole room?" The two thieves were startled and whispered to him, "Hey, keep your voice down, or the owner will wake up." But Tom acted like he didn't understand and shouted even louder, "What do you want, sirs? Do you want to clear out this whole room?" The cook, who was sleeping in the next room, heard the noise, sat up, and listened carefully. The thieves panicked and ran off, but then calmed down, thinking Tom was just playing tricks on them. They crept back and whispered to Tom, "Hey, quit fooling around. Hand something out to us." Tom shouted at the top of his lungs, "I'll hand you everything." "Hold out both hands to catch it." The cook clearly heard someone yelling, so she got out of bed and stumbled to the door. The thieves fled in terror, running as if ghosts were chasing them. The maid listened, but hearing nothing more, went to light a candle. By the time she entered the room with the candle, Tom had already slipped away into the meadow. She searched every corner but found nothing and thought she had been dreaming. Then she returned to bed. Tom Thumb climbed around the haystack and finally found a cozy spot to sleep. He planned to rest until morning and then return home to his parents. That was his intention, but things didn't go as expected. Life is full of unexpected troubles. Just as dawn broke, the maid got out of bed to fetch hay for the animals. She grabbed a handful right from the spot where Tom was sleeping. Tom was fast asleep and didn't notice a thing, not until the cow had already taken him into its mouth. Then he suddenly woke up and cried out, "Good heavens! Why am I inside this crushing machine?" But soon he realized where he was. He tried to avoid being crushed by the cow's teeth. only to be swallowed into its stomach. He thought to himself, "This house must have forgotten to build the windows, no sunlight, and not even a lamp." Inside, Tom felt very uncomfortable, especially as more hay kept coming in, making the space tighter and tighter. In a panic, he shouted, "Stop stuffing fresh hay in here! Stop stuffing fresh hay in here!" The maid was milking the cow when she heard a voice, just like the one she'd heard the night before. Seeing no one around, she got so frightened that she fell off her stool and spilled all the milk. The maid quickly ran to the priest and exclaimed, "Oh dear, the cow can talk, Father." The priest replied, "Are you out of your mind?" Then he went down to the barn to see for himself. Just as he stepped in, Tom Thumb shouted again, "Stop stuffing fresh hay in here! Stop stuffing fresh hay in here!" At that, the priest grew frightened too. He thought the cow was possessed by a demon and ordered it to be slaughtered. After the cow was butchered, they threw the stomach onto the dung heap, with Tom still inside. Tom struggled for a while before finally poking his head out, only to meet more trouble. A hungry wolf came running up and gulped down the entire stomach, with Tom inside. Still, Tom didn't lose hope. He thought he might be able to talk to the wolf. So from inside the wolf's belly, Tom called out, "Dear Mr. Wolf, I want to tell you where you can find a delicious feast." The wolf asked, "Where can I find such a thing?" Tom described in detail the place where his parents lived. "Just crawl through the house gate and you'll get into the kitchen. There, you'll find all the cakes, fat, and sausages you want." Without waiting for Tom to say it a second time, the wolf sneaked through the gate at night, went into the kitchen, and feasted to his heart's content. When his belly was full, the wolf tried to leave, but now he was so bloated that he couldn't squeeze out the same way. Tom had already anticipated this. Inside the wolf's belly, he began kicking and shouting loudly. "Be quiet," said the wolf. "If you keep yelling, you'll wake everyone up." "Oh, come on," said Tom. "You've eaten your fill. Now it's my turn to have some fun." Then Tom screamed and yelled even louder. Finally, Tom's parents heard the noise and woke up. They rushed to the kitchen and peeked through a crack in the door. There they saw the wolf. The father grabbed an axe, and the mother took a scythe. As they entered, the husband said, "You stand behind me. If I strike and it's not dead, you slash its belly open." Hearing his father's voice, Tom shouted, "Dear father, I'm in here, in the wolf's belly." Overjoyed, the father cried, "Praise the Lord! Our dear little boy is back." Then he told his wife to put down the scythe so Tom wouldn't be hurt. Taking careful aim, he struck the wolf on the head with the axe, killing it instantly. Then the couple cut open the wolf's belly and pulled Tom out. The father said, "Oh, son, we were so worried about you." "Father," said Tom, "I've been many places in this world. Thank heaven I can breathe fresh air again." "Where have you been, son?" asked the father. "Oh, father, I've been in a mouse hole, in a cow's stomach, and in a wolf's belly. But now I'm finally back home with you and mother." His parents hugged and kissed their dear little son, then said, "From now on, even if we were offered all the riches in the world, we would never sell you again." Then they gave Tom food and drink and made new clothes for him, as his old ones had been torn to shreds during his journey. A happy ending for Tom Thumb, tiny but mighty. After countless adventures, from the belly of a cow to the stomach of a wolf, Tom Thumb finally returned safely to the loving arms of his parents, bringing with him the most extraordinary experiences. Though small in size, his cleverness, courage, and self-belief helped him overcome every obstacle. This story reminds us, no matter how small you are, with determination and intelligence, you can achieve great things. Tom Thumb's journey may have ended, but the inspiration he leaves behind will live on in our hearts forever. If you enjoyed this story, please click the button below to subscribe and give me more motivation to make more videos. Thank you, everyone.